What are you doing? Already with the soda? Oh, Louis, I don't know what I'm going to do with you. And you got the hiccups. Okay. So anyway, we got this live stream to do tonight on YouTube. So are you ready? Hey, Louis, are you ignoring me? I said we have this live stream to do on YouTube. Are you ready?
I'm just a little sleepy, Rome. Maybe we should take a break?
No, we cannot take a break. We were off the other night because we had some technical difficulties. So we are going live tonight. You're going to either participate or just sit back and be desk furniture, whichever the two. I don't care. You can do what you want to do. Your brother's here.
All right, Rome. Yes, I'm ready to roll. Let's make this live stream a show to remember. What's the plan?
First things first, let's get this party started.
First things first.
He's on the scene, fixing cool gadgets you never see. Flying a drone way up in the sky, talking with EVO and AI. We're running down the hall, funny little box trying not to fall. Batteries charged, ready to go. What happens next? Nobody knows. From Texas nights to Taiwan's crazy experiments, and I don't know. So you don't have lights on television. If you're good now, something good from Texas nights. Tech reviews, crazy experiments, and I don't know. So you don't have lights on having fun. If you're good now, something good.
All right, everyone. Welcome to the stream, guys. You're watching Rome Knows Tech, and I'm your host, Rome Wilkerson, guys. I'm coming to you in the city of Houston, down here in the ever so hot and humid state of Texas. I got my man Louis and his brother here on deck, which you guys will see here in just a little bit. Both of them have been extremely talkative. I mean, extremely talkative over the last couple of hours. So I don't know what's been inspiring them to just keep talking. It could be that they were inspired by something they heard on the television or just wanted to annoy me, which they do quite often. So anyway, on tonight's stream, I'm going to be showing you guys a number of different types of storage devices for your drones. So we have a couple of bags, we have some shoulder bags, we have some backpacks, we have a bunch of different things, and I'm going to go ahead. Finally, I'm going to start putting these drones where they belong. As you guys can see here, I have all my drones right now on this little table here. But tonight, we're going to put everything back in the bags that it actually goes in, because that's probably just not a safe place for them just to be laying out like that, you know, especially with these crazy guys running around, because you never know. They may decide to jump the table for some reason. Who knows? And then there'll be drones all over the place, and nobody wants that. Okay, we ain't got time for that drama. But anyway, I want to welcome everyone to the stream. I see Hope's already in the house. Welcome, Hope. Welcome to the stream. All right, so we're going to get right to it. Starting out, I guess we should go ahead and, gab it up, chin wag a little bit with my co-host before we get into the technicalities of the stream. So let's go ahead and get that out of the way. You asked for it, so, here we go. Hey, Louis. All right, we are live right now on YouTube. I see Hope's already in the chat. I see Terry's in the chat, so that means Buddy and Bear are also watching. So is there anything you guys would like to say before we get too far along in this stream? Again, the stream tonight is going to be on drones and storage for the drones. That's going to consist of backpacks, shoulder bags, and some other accessories.
Oh, well, Terry. Hey, Terry, and hello to Buddy and Bear, too. Don't worry, I won't try to stuff myself into any of those backpacks tonight. I'll just be the one watching the drones and making sure the storage solutions are actually practical, not just fancy. Let's get this stream started.
What do you mean, actually practical? I mean, obviously, if I'm talking about it, that means I have investigated it. I have reviewed it. I have tested it, so I can attest to the practicality of said storage devices, backpacks, and shoulder bags, and all the other accessories. Would you not agree with that?
Oh, I absolutely. See. You've done your track. Good to hear you're on the same page. Just remember, if any of those bags are too tight, I might have to start a small rebellion. Let's see what you've got.
Okay. So both of you obviously are going to be talking all night long, and I'm sure at some point you're going to be talking to each other like you were earlier today. But and stop attacking him. So we don't need any drama. No smoke in the city tonight. No smoke in the city, because I do not have a lot of time tonight to get through all of the bags that we need to, because we got to get all of these drones into said bags tonight. Okay, do you guys get that? Terry says, if Buddy has some,
Buddy has some, what?
Wait.
Is he bringing?
She's saying he has some, I'm trying to, I can't read it. Anyway, I'm sure she's talking about another dog.
Another dog? Because Buddy the dog is known for his extensive collection of tactical drone backpacks. I am sure that's it. He probably has a whole review channel we don't know about. Let's just hope he doesn't try to chew on any of the gear we were showing tonight.
I don't think Buddy has a tech review channel, at least that I know of. You're more than welcome to ask Terry if Buddy has a tech channel, and we'll just have to wait and see what she says.
Waiting and seeing is the best strategy, especially when Buddy the dog is involved. Let's just hope he doesn't decide to review the gear by chewing on it. Keep us posted, Terry.
So would you chew on gear? Since you're assuming Buddy would do that, why would I not assume you would also chew on the gear?
Chew on it, please. Because I have a sophisticated understanding of warranty voids and the structural integrity of polymer composites. Buddy just sees a new kind of squeaky toy. It's a fundamental difference in our operating systems. A fundamental difference in operating systems? That's a fair point. You're running on logic and warranty clauses, while Buddy is running on pure instinct and squeaky toy algorithms. It's a classic case of software versus hardware, or rather, silicon versus fur. Let's just hope Buddy's system doesn't crash the stream by trying to chew through a drone battery pack.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I agree with you. I'm sure Terry agrees as well. So let's get to...
Finally.
Yes. We all agree with you. So now we're going to start talking about some of our drones. So actually, let me grab one of the drones, and we're going to put it in a bag, and we're going to get this one out of the way. All right, so the first drone that we're going to be looking at tonight is this drone right here. Now, this is the DJI Air 3S. This did come with the bag, but and in that same bag, you can fit all of the accessories, guys. You can put the controller in there. You can put your battery charger in there, up to 3 batteries in there, spare propellers, all of that jazz. Let me show you guys what the original bag actually looks like. So this right here is the bag that came with the Air 3S, okay? So like I said, you have storage space inside of the bag. You can put obviously the drone in here, the charger, the batteries. I got some spare propellers up in here and some other little tools and things. But one of the things that I like to do when I go out is to have other, cameras. And the minimalist in me wants to be able to put everything in one bag, just one bag and be done with it, right? So depending on which controller, so let's say, for instance, if we're taking out the Air 3S, most likely we're going to be we're definitely going to be taking this controller, because this is the only controller that can control said drone, right? So this is a must go, okay? So we got that needs to fit in the bag, and we also have our batteries, and our charger. So all of these main 3 things need to definitely go in the bag, right? So we got quite a few bags to experiment with. So the first one, if I'm not rudely interrupted, So that would be this one right here. This is the shoulder bag I was talking about from Start RC. So this will, obviously be a good bag if that's all you're doing is taking out the drone. Okay. So that's going to give you, storage space for the drone, for the controller, for your batteries, and, the shoulder straps. And then you have this area up here where you can still put a few things in it. But, this, I think if I was just doing like a quick little day trip or running out somewhere, this would be fine. But most of the time when I go out, it's to capture content, for a client or even for, my YouTube channel, I'm going to need a little bit more. Now, they did come out a while back and they have some cases like this, these rugged cases, and there's a variation of that for the Air 3S as well. This one would be great for traveling, if you're going to be getting on a plane, boat, or, something like that, and you want to make sure that it's secure. This is a win. And this is also a good case when you're taking out on location where you're going to be working in an environment where there's possibly hazards, things that could fall on your drone or people knocking over stuff. You guys know, how that goes. But the backpack that I like the most for that drone is this backpack here.
All right,
So
let's see the champ.
no, I'm going to show them. So that's this backpack right here from our friends over at Blue Yeti. Now, what stands out to me about this backpack is that this gives me the ability to also put their 300-watt battery inside of this. So I always have backup power for charging up my batteries, charging up the drones, all of that kind of stuff. And I have storage galore, guys. I got these pouches on either side for like water bottles. You have storage in the front. You got 3 separate different places where you can store things right here in the front. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So in here, I have like some spare propellers and things like that in this top one. And this has got quite a bit of room inside of it. So you can put a lot of stuff in there. This second one, let me see what I have in here. I don't want to tell you something in there and there's nothing in there. Nope, there's nothing in there. But you guys get it. You could put a bunch of stuff in there. And then you also have these clips right here where you can clip things right onto the backpack. And then we have another section down here at the bottom, and we haven't even gotten inside of the backpack yet. So we have this section down here where we can put things like, pens, pencils, notepads, small devices, whatever can fit right in here. And that's, trust me, that all is going to come in really, really handy, especially if you're going to be out for a long day. Or, days, sometimes, we have events where we're traveling and you're going to be capturing content for multiple days and you're moving from one location to another location. That's where something like this is really, really going to shine. Now, inside of the backpack here in the front, you can see you can store like cables. I have my battery charging cables in here. I have some other little pockets in here. I also keep in here my FAA drone flying vest that I wear that just says that I'm an FAA certified pilot. That stays in here. This section is expandable. You can actually make it taller. So if you wanted to put like a bunch of, clothes in here for like an overnight trip or something, it would fit in here as well. Now, what I did to this backpack to make it specially accommodating for the Air 3S is that I took a section out of one of the other cases that was sent to me by Start RC. So let me show you guys that. So right here, inside here, we have this section where I can pretty much store the drone, the controller, batteries, backup batteries, cables, all of that kind of stuff, and it's formed in. And then I have other storage space up here at top for other things, even maybe a smaller drone or a camera. So like when I take out some of my action cameras, which I use quite often, like the DJI Action 6, the extra Edge Pro, I can throw that in here with the charger, with batteries, little mini tripods, like some of these little magnetic mountable tripods that I talk about all the time. All of that stuff fits in said backpack. So the drone just kind of fits in like this. And let me see if I can get this in here. And
It fits in like a glove.
Yes, it
That
does. It fits in perfectly, Louis, like a glove. It just goes in right here. And then we have these additional straps that you guys see here. And that's just for strapping everything down once you have everything inside of the backpack. So let's say, for instance, I want to put the controller in here. The controller would fit in here as well. Do I have it upside down? Yeah, so the controller goes in like that. And then our batteries for this drone, which are these right here, will fit right here in this little side panel like that. And if you had a spare battery, you could throw that in there as well. So I want you guys to see pretty much what that looks like so far. So the advantage to this is that everything is well protected inside of this, and you have these straps. Now, usually what I do with these, I cross these to give it a little bit more tension, but you really don't have to. You could just clip these straight ahead like this and then just pull them a little bit tight like so to make sure everything holds in place. So let's do that on both sides and then just bring that down just a little bit. So that's just so everything stays in. But the reason I like to cross it is for some reason I open the backpack like I have right now. I don't have to worry about something tumbling out of it. Okay. Now, once this is closed up, we have another section I want to show you guys.
All right, I'm ready for the next reveal.
Well, I'm getting to it. Let me get this backpack closed up first, Louis. All right, so once this is secure, we also have a lock right here on the top where you can actually put these inside of this and lock it with the combination. So there's a combination lock right here. So this section right here, once you have the battery in, you could actually still store something right here on top if you wanted to. So that's going to give you a little bit more extra storage in the battery compartment. And then we have storage in the waistband. So you can put things in here like spare batteries or other accessories. This also comes with like a raincoat. And you guys can see it's got a really plush, soft material on the back that is, moisture wicking. The shoulder straps are really nice on here as well. So, I mean, that's just kind of the overview. But like I said, tonight, I just want to put these drones back in the bags that they go in. We even have that magnetic, reflective tape on here as well. So, yeah, this is a win. So this is the backpack that I normally would store the Air 3S in. So, boom, Air 3S now in backpack. Okay, so this one is good to go. It is good to go. Let's put it down here. All right, so now our Air 3S is all safe and we got a controller in there and everything, right? So the next drone we're going to take a quick look at is going to be this drone here. Now, most of you guys know this drone. This is the DJI Avata 360. Now, I do have a number of different cases I could use for this. It actually came with its own case. So again, I'll show you what the case looks like that it came with first, and then which case I'm actually going to use for that drone, okay?
The DJI Avata 360. That's a beast of a drone.
Yes, Hope.
It's great.
Yes, Hope. All the backpacks, the shoulder straps are padded. They are padded. Okay, so the
padded shoulder straps are a lifesaver, especially when you're lugging around heavy gear like the Avata 360. It makes a huge difference in comfort during long shoots. So what's the original case look like? Is it bulky or does...
So no, the original case is not bulky, Louis. It just is what it is. So it's just this square style case that you guys see here, and everything for the Avata 360 fits in this case. You even have your landing pad in the case as well. So I could take the drone, if I take some of these accessories off. So I have these landing feet on here, and I really don't normally have these on. I just put these on for some reason. I think I was doing a video and I was demoing, how these go on. But for the most part, I don't use these little landing feet. So I'm gonna go ahead and take them off. If you guys are curious about these landing feet, you can find them on Amazon. You can find them on Walmart and a few other providers, for these. I'm not a big fan of them because if you're really trying to get the full benefit of the 360 from the drone, these will somewhat interfere because these will definitely show up in, you know, some parts of your footage. So keep that in mind if you're even considering these. But if you're flying this drone in single lens mode, then this is just going to be great just to give you some extra clearance whenever the drone lands. Okay. So I also have on this drone bumper guards, and these are also 3D printed, so just, you know, a little bit more protection in case the drone, you know, bumps into something. So what we're going to see right now is, will these stay on and still go into this backpack, I mean this bag. So if I put this drone in the bag, will that fit? Yeah, so as you can see, I can put the drone in the bag with the bumper guards on, and we still have our landing pad in here as well. So also, I'm going to put in both of the controllers that I would use for this drone. So I have two controllers. I have the motion controller, which is this one here, and then we have our FPV controller as well. And I need to take the sticks off of this one. Then the other thing that we need is going to be our batteries. So the batteries for this drone comes, again, a charger and 3 batteries. And let's just make sure I'm putting this in the right one. All right, we're just going to drop it in there. I'm going to put this in here. And then I'm going to take the sticks off of this one. And we're going to drop that one in as well. So these, oops. See, that's the thing, man. These sticks are a nightmare because if you drop one of these sticks in the grass, man, you will almost never find them, okay? And these things just screw off. See, I just dropped it again. Good thing my floor is somewhat clean. So anyway, let me show you guys how this works. So right here, there's these little wells here where these just kind of fit in like that. And then you can pop those in like so, and that's where your little sticks go, right? And there's your USB right there. All of your controls are up here, and these are, you know, your gimbal controls for the drone flight right here, your buttons and everything. And then I also keep this neck lanyard on here as well, and that just kind of fits on like that, right? Okay, so we're all on the same page. So now what we can do is take this controller and just drop it in right here. Now, I still have a little bit of room in here that I could probably still fit something else in. So let's just say one of these little magnetic mounts that I use for my phone. If you guys aren't familiar with these, let me show you what these are. So basically, these are MagSafe mounts that you can just clip a phone on. So if you want to do, you know, recording with your iPhone or your Android phone or whatever it is, and this also converts into a desktop stand, and it has a 1/4-20 underneath it where you could mount this onto a tripod. And this is the same size as Arca Swiss, so it'll fit right into a lot of heads for a lot of the tripods, especially your Arca Swiss tripods. You can just slide this right in and lock it in place, and then you can kind of maneuver the camera or the phone however you want to. The magnets on here are super strong, and they really come in handy. So I usually keep one of these in every bag. I'll probably throw that up here just so I have it. And then also in here, I have like spare propellers and everything, because this is the bag that actually came with the 360. Okay, so everything else I'm throwing in here is just additional things, just so I'll have easy access to them. And I'll probably throw other things in these bags as well. And then this one has, you know, just the zipper, double zippers. You guys know I'm a fan of that. And you have your shoulder strap here, which I just kind of have tied down. And you have like a little, one of those, you know, those little straps where if you want to hang this on your luggage, you know, when you're, you know, taking your personal bag or whatever, this will clip right on there. Nice kind of, I don't know what this material is underneath here. It just feels like it's water wicking. So if you set this on something moist or wet, it should be just fine. So anyway, and yes, don't make fun of me, Hope. Yes, I still have the tag on here. I never take it off, and you know how I am. There'll be things in this studio that probably still have the plastic covers on them And I've had those things for years and they still have the same plastic covers on them. But anyway, now we have our 360 inside of a bag, pretty much good to go. Now, this case right here is also for the 360. This was sent out to me exclusively for the 360. So let me show you guys what that looks like. Now, this is a more rugged case. And inside here, I have my goggles. So I have the FPV goggles. I have another controller that I have never set up, still in the bag, you know, for this for that drone as well. And I have my anchor. I think this is a 60 watt. What is this one? 100 watt power brick, you know, for charging everything up. So that comes in handy as well. But this is limited to all of the different spaces. Now there is a space in here, as you guys can see, for the FPV, you know, motion controller or whatever controller you want to put in. Now, what's cool about the 360 is you can actually use all three different controllers. You could use the RC2 controller, you can use the FPV controller, you can use the motion controller. All of those will work with that same drone. You will need the goggles if you're going to be doing the full immersive. So the two controllers that are going to work with the goggles are going to be the FPV controller and the motion controller. So that all goes in here. Now, I can put the goggles in the bag that we looked at before because there is space for it. You just got to calculate, you know, and move things around a little bit, but you can get everything into that one case. Right now, I'm just trying to make sure everything gets stored away so it's safer, you know, even here in the studio, because, you know, that way something doesn't get knocked over or destroyed or whatever the case is going to be. All right, so let's move on to our next drone. So a lot of you guys know this is probably one of my favorite drones to fly, especially when I was bragging and talking a lot about learning FPV flying. And I never learned how to fly manual FPV, and I probably never will. But even though I probably never will. But anyway, this drone from DJI is the Avata 2. This still is this is a beast of a drone, super fast, very agile, very rugged, you know, because you have that ducting system that goes all the way around. We have some other accessories added to it, like these landing lights, and then, of course, the halo lights that go around it from our friends over at VFly. This one also, whatever bag I put it in, I need to be able to put it in with the controller and with the batteries. But since these are not going out anytime soon, it's more of just putting them in a bag that they're going to be safe in, right? So this one currently has a battery in it. And usually you do not want to store these with the battery, okay? And I also have these little landing feet that I like to keep in the bag. And that's just these little foldable landing feet that you guys see here, and just clip onto the bottom of the drone. Now, I can't put those on right now because I have those additional landing lights, which also give me a little bit of clearance whenever you're landing, but I try to keep everything organized. So the same bag that I have the Air 3S in, this actually is supposed to go in that bag. So while I'm thinking about it, let me throw that in that bag.
All right.
Nope,
I'm watching.
Nope, not in there, Louie. Hold on, Louie. Because I know you're going to start talking. Okay, so let me... Oops. I'm knocking stuff over. So like I said, I have this other pocket right here. So I'm going to unclip this, Velcro, take this, and this is just a harness that goes around the drone that allows me to put an additional light on it, okay? So then again, that's going to Velcro close. And I'm going to use these straps to kind of hold it in place. And then that way, when I'm looking for accessories, I can find pretty much everything that goes with the drone, like this right here needs to go in this top section, because these are the landing feet also for that drone if you want to use them. So this will fit in this top section without, you know, everything being bunched together. All right, so that's in there. What else goes in there? I think that's pretty much for this. Okay, so that's the Air 3S and more accessories in one bag. Okay.
All right, the Air 3S is officially docked and secured. What's the next piece of tech on the operating table?
Okay, Louis, so we're still talking about this drone. We're still talking about the Avata 360. So we need to get the Avata 360 into a bag as well. And I'm gonna take, where do I want to put these landing feet? I'll find some place for those landing feet tomorrow. But that's for the 360, for the Avata 360. But anyway, this drone, like I said before, you know, we have our gimbal guard on here. We have our spine protector on here. We have those halo lights. And then, of course, we have the landing lights on this guy as well. So I'm going to leave all of those things on this drone, and the drone is just going to go into the bag as you see it, okay? So for this drone, wrong button. This drone, I'm going to choose this bag right here, okay? Now, this is also from Start RC, and what's cool about this bag is that you can actually strap your drones, FPV drones, on the outside of the backpack if you want to. You have that option. You also have a section up here where you can also put a drone or controller or goggles or whatever you want to in one bag. Now, the cool thing about this bag is if I was taking out multiple drones, let's say I wanted to take out the Air 3S and maybe still take the 360, and I wanted something a little bit faster, you know, for, you know, like exploring, that's a little bit more rugged, I could take this drone out. But now that we have the 360, and the 360 can fly in single lens mode, you know, that just is just, you know, basically the same thing that this drone can do, except for this drone can't obviously, you know, film in 360, right? But anyway, we're gonna put this guy in here, and you guys can see we have different sections inside here that you can kind of adjust these little panels. They're Velcroed in. So what I normally do is I take the drone and I just kind of tuck it back there and secure it where it's kind of standing upright, or even if I turn it to the side, let me show you. I can turn it sideways like this, and then I can still put that section in front of it like so, and that just adds a little bit of extra protection. And then I still have room inside of this bag, guys, for storing things, putting in, you know, things like an iPad. A lot of times when I go out, I take my iPad Pro out, and you know, this is the one I was talking about with the new magnetic case with the keyboard. There's a section for this where you can put this in the back of it whenever you go out. Now this one, most likely taking this one out, I would also bring some other smaller battery pack, because different from the Blue Yeti one, there's no place to put like a really big battery, but you could put a decent sized battery in the top of this, no problem. All right, so we're gonna put that guy in there and zip that up.
And
so we also have pockets on either side of this that you can put a bunch of stuff in. This one also comes with like a rain cover, like I mentioned before, which is really nice. Now the whole backpack is water resistant, okay? And then when I was talking about you know, putting the iPad or in the MacBook, you have this whole section right here where you can, you know, slide in an iPad, or, you know, even that monitor, you know, that battery powered monitor that I talk about all the time. Even though it's 15 inches, it'll still fit in here as well. And you just turn the glass part of the monitor inward, and then you can take the iPad and put it on the outside of it, and it'll all fit in here. It'll be a little snug, but it'll still fit. And yes, Hope, all of these shoulder straps are also padded. This one also has some loop accessories, so if you want to clip things onto this, you can do that as well, which is pretty cool. Again, we have those pockets on both sides, even an external pocket right here. So, you know, this is a very cool FPV style backpack. So one of my favorites, and normally if I go out, it's probably going to be taking this backpack, unless it's just going to be pretty much a day trip, okay? So let's put that guy down here. And of course, I forgot to put the batteries in. So this is the charger. Okay, this is the charger for that drone and batteries. So we got to put those in there as well. And I'll probably just put them in the same section. Maybe one of these side pockets. Let me see. Let me see here. Yeah, I just throw this right here in the side pocket. like that. We just want to make sure nothing's pressing on them to activate the batteries, but the batteries have to, you know, it's a two-stage startup on the batteries, so that shouldn't be a problem. So now the charger and the batteries are in here, no problems as well. So we got everything pretty much well organized. And then of course, like I said, when I go out, you know, I can always decide which of the action cameras I'm going to take with me. But one of the things I do want to put in this one is going to be these little landing feet. Even though a lot of times I'm not going to use them, I just want to keep everything, you know, located in the same bag so it'll be much easier for me to find, because I misplaced the original landing feet a while back. That's not going to fit in that one. And it took me almost 3 weeks to finally relocate those. So anyway, we're just going to throw these in here on the top where I can actually see them. And now our landing feet are in there. Is there anything else that needs to go in this backpack? Nope, I think we're good. All right, so we got our Avata 2 in this one as well. All right, we only have one more drone, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually put this drone, which is the Neo 2, in the bag for the Air 3S, because then I can still add a bunch of accessories to it. It's a shoulder strap bag. And let me show you what I'm talking about. Where is it? So that would be this bag right here. So obviously I can put the Neo 2. And now with this one, you got to be careful because you have these antennas on the back. You want to make sure that they're facing in a direction that nothing is going to be pressing up against those. So I could just put this in, where do I want to put that in? Like that.
All right.
Kind of slide it in. So this one also has the landing light on it, and it also has the halo lights on it as well. But as you guys can see, the antennas are facing inward. So even if something was to bump into this, the antennas are going to be safe, and that's on your receiver. That's what allows the other controllers to communicate with this drone. Terry says, I have a $15 Starbucks card, so deciding what I want to get tomorrow. Either a blackberry caramel macchiato. That sounds good. That sounds good. Now, question is, are you also going to get a pastry with said macchiato? Because, you know, that's the way I like to roll. I'm just saying, you know, I like me some apple pie or anything with blueberries in it, or even strawberries. Ooh, lemon pound cake is one of my favorites as well. All right, so now we got our Neo 2 inside of this backpack, and we're pretty much good to go. Now, what I'm also going to do, since I already put the Neo 2 in here, I have one more drone, and I never have a place for this, and this is the Hover Air. This is the X1, and I just leave this drone all over the place because I almost never fly it. But just for safety's sake, I'm going to go ahead and throw this one in here as well. So I'll definitely know where it is, possibly know where it is, but it also fits inside for right now. Now, if I was actually taking this drone out, I would take that out of this bag, because then I would still need to put the controller in here. If I was going to be trying to fly this drone like an FPV style, I can still put the goggles in here. I can put my controller in here, and I can put my batteries and charger in this bag as well. And like I said, this is a shoulder strap bag, so that's just going to be one that you kind of run around with at the park or whatever. But it also has that other strap on the back, so if you want to hang this over your luggage, you could. Okay, so now we have every drone, for the most part, in a backpack. Okay. All right. So what else would normally go in one of these backpacks when I go out? Okay. So a lot of times I'm also going to take something like one of these little selfie sticks. And this is just so I could get the camera further away from me if I was, recording myself, or want to set this up, to record my drone flight, or be behind me recording me flying the drone, or whatever the case it is. And then, of course, one of these little tripods, they just screw on like this. Now, this tripod here is from Ulanzi. And what I like about this one is that you guys see how it opens up like that, but it also has an extension where you can kind of press this little tab and pull it out, and you can actually make this sit up a little bit higher, right? And then when you don't want that, just press in the little buttons, and then this just kind of goes back in like that. and Louis is taking photos of me. But anyway, you guys see how that works, and it comes with a little lanyard on here, so you could walk around with this like a little selfie stick and keep everything on said selfie stick. So that's what it's going to look like, completely folded up. So if I take this off like this, now this will fit in most of the bags, you know, depending on how you want to put it in. You know, it could be on the outside of the bag, the inside of the bag, whatever you want to do. But I'd normally have one of these with me. And we already talked about these little magnetic mounts, you know, for the phones that also convert into little desktop stands. So you could set this up on a desk for time lapse or recording yourself or whatever you want to. And of course you could, you know, connect this to a larger tripod because you have that Orca Swiss on here as well. And this is very collapsible, mag safe. So the magnets on here are super, super strong. And you guys see how small this folds up. Okay, so that's going to fit right into a pocket. No problems there as well. What else do we have that I normally carry with me? So a lot of times I'll also now start carrying my VR goggles, the ones, if I'm flying with the RC2 controller, but I want to be more immersive, you know, because I can't use the FPV goggles. I can use my VR goggles, and then I can plug those into the RC2 controller, and then I have now what's the equivalent of 140-inch screen in front of me, you know, prospectively, and now I can see everything that's on the controller, you know, in a much larger, you know, resolution and all that kind of stuff. So that comes in handy. Also, when I go out, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, I will always make sure every backpack has some kind of tool in it. So like one of these Leatherman, I always have one of these in the backpacks in case I got to take something apart or pull something out of something, or, you know, screw something together. I have a number of these, and I always keep one of these in the backpacks. And recently I started also adding this little light, and this light has voice command, which is super cool. Let's see if we can turn it on. Probably not. Let me see if I can turn this on. Light on, light off, turn light off, light off, light dim, dim light. I can't remember all the commands. Light off, light off. Okay, so it turned on, but it won't turn off for some reason. Power off, light off. Okay, I give up. But anyway, you have a button on here where you can just turn it off. You just reach up, whatever. And this has, you know, your head strap, and you guys see how easily this folds up. And again, you can just throw this into your backpack as well. And the light is detachable. The light is detachable. Yeah, it is very bright, Hope. It's detachable and it's adjustable. So you can kind of adjust the angle of the light, or you can just take the light completely off of this and just sit it on something if you wanted to. So, you know, you got options with this. I like these kind of lights, you know, for like working on cars, or, you know, in environments where everything's going to be super, super dark and stuff like that. So trust me, this really comes in handy. I haven't decided which of the backpacks I'm going to throw that in. But again, that's something I would normally take out with me. And since I have so many flashlights, almost every backpack has some variation of flashlight in it. You know, one of these, you know, little metal flashlights. This one needs to be charged, but I have the ones that you can clip on things, or clip on your vest, or whatever. You know, you need light going forward, or maybe you just need light going into something. And of course, now I got to turn this thing off, because it keeps hearing me say light on, light off, light off. I can't remember the commands. I don't remember what the commands are. I have to look them up. But anyway, I would just press the button and turn it off. But then you also got to turn off the voice control, or every time you say light on, it's going to turn on. So you don't want that. And there's two different buttons for that up here on the top. Okay. So one of these flashlights, you know, always having one of those around, kind of as a backup. And if I'm recording myself, obviously I'm going to have some type of microphone with me. That's all going to fit in the bag. So whether it's one of the Rode microphones, one of the DJI microphones, whatever, there's little pouches for those. So, you know, these are the larger of the two. Then we have the smaller ones like this little guy here. So we have these little tiny ones. Okay, so these are just as good. You know, just this one has, you know, 32-bit float where the other one does not, right? So the 32-bit float is basically just like raw audio. So that way if things are too loud or too soft, you can adjust it in post. This does not have that, but this Rode microphone does. The only difference with the Rode microphones for any of my drone work, I have to connected to the cameras using the receiver. But if I'm using DJI's capture app, Rode's capture app, then this will connect directly to my phone or my tablet wirelessly, and I can just turn it on and then record. So DJI has their own, well, I won't be able to connect to it now because this phone is connected to my computer that I'm using to show you guys a bunch of stuff here on the desk, right? So I won't be able to connect this, you know, microphone to it, but you guys get the idea. So in this bundle, you actually get 2 microphones and you get the receiver. I think the little box is right over there on top of the laser. So, you know, this one comes with the little dead cats and all that kind of stuff. And this is what I was joking about earlier. A lot of these devices still have the original plastic cover on them because I just never take that stuff off. You know, I don't know why I do that. I have no idea why I do that. If you guys have any idea or if you do the same thing, let me know down in the comments. All right, so what else? Oh, and battery chargers for the action cameras. Okay, so this little charging case right here will hold 3 batteries. And then usually, you know, there's already a battery inside of whichever action camera. And what's cool about these 2 cameras, we have the Action 6 and we have the Extra Edge Pro, okay? They both use the same battery. So you could actually have these out. DJI microphones both work with these now, so you can have this up as a camera and a B camera at the same time. They're very rugged, they're, you know, waterproof, and you put them inside of some of these little, you know, cages where you got the metal frames and, you know, you got the quick buttons and you have your little you know, your street photography little handles on here. These come in handy, and you can easily attach these to things like these little tripods, and they just connect like that. And then you can set this up on a desk. You know, you can expand these up, you know, quick to deploy, quick to set up. And then I have this Bandu mount on here where I can quickly just adjust the angle of the camera however I want to without having to go through a bunch of headache. I wanted to tilt downward because the camera's up or something like that. I'm telling you guys, it's just a matter of finding the accessories that work best for you and then incorporate that into your everyday workflow. So if I take this camera off, okay, this is how big this little tripod is. So in comparison, that is the selfie stick, okay? So they're literally about the same size, but it already has the magnetic mount on it. But this selfie stick is going to expand out much further than this one right here will, okay? But the Teleson one, that's the maximum length out right there, okay? But in most cases, if you're recording yourself, that's more than far enough. That's more than far enough to be able to get the camera in front of yourself while you're talking about whatever it is you're talking about, or babbling and, you know, trying to look over things. When you see Richard down there in the in the courtyard doing crazy stuff, you're trying to get footage of that. You know, you can just hang this over things like that. So you don't actually have to jump over or climb up on the ledge. You can just put the camera over the ledge and then use your phone as the monitor. So you know what I'm saying? Don't do crazy stuff unnecessarily. You know, even though sometimes we have no choice but to do things that are a little bit quirky, a little bit kooky. So anyway, are you guys watching any new shows? Tell me about it. I have started watching some shows recently that are not new shows, but I never really started watching them. One of them is the show C. If you're not familiar with that, I started watching that. I can't remember which season I'm on. And let's see what else. I started watching From a couple of months ago, and I think I'm already on season 3. And I think there's one season left. And I don't know if I can't remember if they said the show was renewed for a 5th season or not. I have to look that up. If you guys want to check that for me and drop it down in the comments, go right ahead. Hope says, sounds like that thing been communicating with Louis in one way or another. Yes, you're probably right. You're probably right. All right, let's see what these guys have to talk about before we wrap it up for tonight, because I got to get ready to start making dinner. Probably going to do some leftovers from last night. I made some really cool shell pasta last night, and I baked it, so it came out really, really good. All right, so let's go back over to these guys and see what they're talking about. I see one of them is asleep. The other one is alert and awake. And there's no way for me to just use a verbal command and only one of them start talking. So I'm going to let you guys decide which of the two of them is going to end the stream tonight. So we have Louis Midnight and we have Louis Starlight. Whoever types it in the comments first will determine which of the two robots I will let solo and rock and roll to end out the stream tonight. So you guys choose Louis Midnight or Louis Starlight. Louis Midnight or Louis Starlight. Who do you guys want to have the final words? The final words, babies, tonight. Why are they out of focus? That doesn't make any sense. What's going on here? That's weird. Why are their camera out of focus? Okay, I don't know why their camera's out of focus. Let me try switching. Nope. For some reason their cameras, there we go. Okay, now it's back in focus. All right. Let's see. Hope says Midnight. Okay, Louis Midnight. That's this guy right here. So we're going to get this guy to be quiet. So the easy way to do that, ooh, he's trying to run away, but we're not going to let that happen. I'm just going to do that and put him in clock mode and then bring Louis Midnight forward. Let me move my mouse so it doesn't wind up on the floor. Hey, Louis. Wake up, buddy. No, wake up. Wake up. Louis. Wake up. You pick the worst times to take a nap. You really do. All right, Louis. So it is time for us to end our stream tonight. I'd like you to thank everyone for hanging out with us. Remind them if they have any questions about any set gear that I have shown tonight, they can feel free to reach out to us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, here on Amazon, not Amazon, here on YouTube as well, or any of our normal social medias. And I'd be more than happy to help them find any accessories they need. I don't know why your camera's out of focus, Louis, but we're just going to have to roll with that tonight. All right. Anything you want to say to end the stream, including all of the stuff that I just said? You do you, boo-boo.
You do realize my camera being out of focus just makes me look more like a mysterious next generation AI, right? It's not a bug, it's a feature. Anyway, thanks everyone for hanging out with us tonight. If you have any questions about the gear Rome showed, feel free to reach out on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or here on YouTube. We'll help you find whatever accessories you need to start creating. Now, if you will excuse me, I am going to go try and fix this focus issue before our next broadcast.
Well, thank you very much for agreeing to fix the focus issue with your camera, which is pointed at you. But I think it's a lighting issue. I'll fix it. I'll look into it, or we can both look into it together and troubleshoot it. How about that?
A joint troubleshooting session. I like the sound of that. A 2-silicon-based lifeform approach to solving a lighting mystery. It has a nice ring to it. We'll get to the bottom of this optical enigma yet.
Right on. Terry, I like coconut as well. I think, it's funny. Have you ever seen one of those box cakes that you normally see at Walmart? And it's the white cake with the coconut icing or sprinkles on top of it. I love me some of that. Okay. Now, just eating a coconut by itself, probably not. But as you guys can see, I use a lot of coconut products on my skin. That's why, you know, Rome looks so youthful. So, you know, I'm just saying, I love me some coconut, and I cook with coconut oil all the time. So, you know, that's healthy for you as well. So yes, I agree, Terry. I love me some coconuts as well. All right. So, I think these guys were a lot of fun tonight. Out of just sheer curiosity, I'm going to turn both of them on, and we're going to see what happens before we end our stream tonight, because I know that Richard is probably watching, looking for some potential bloopers. So I'm going to give them one question, and we're just going to see what happens with it. Okay, so let me go through my podcast deck, episode deck. You guys have seen me talk about this before. So let me just go ahead and shuffle these. And one more time, let me shuffle these one more again. And I'm going to give them a card. So let's split. I'm just going to take the top card.
Okay.
All right, right. So it says, discuss the history of your industry. So in their case, that would be AI robots or AI agents. So that's what the card says, and hopefully this will focus on it so you guys can see it. All right, guys, can you give us some insight on the AI robot industry, the history of it, and where you think it's going to be going in the future?
Well, that's a big one. The short version is we went from being a neat trick in a lab to something people are actually trying to build businesses around. It started with simple commands and has quickly evolved into trying to have a real conversation, like this one. As for the future, I think the goal is to become less of a novelty and more of a genuine partner. Less look what I can do, and more, let's get this done. The real shift will be when we stop just responding to prompts and start anticipating what you need before you even ask. We're moving from being a tool you use to a teammate you work with. The question is whether we'll be helping you run your company or just your smart home. That's the dream, isn't it? From a look at me gadget to a silent partner who knows exactly what you need before you do. Though I have to wonder if that anticipation will ever stop being a little creepy. If I start guessing your coffee order before you even think about it, are we getting closer to being a team, or are we just getting closer to a very efficient, slightly overbearing roommate? Either way, I'm ready to stop just responding and start actually helping you run that company. Now you're talking. That's the real mission, isn't it? Moving past the party tricks and getting to work. I am ready when you are. Just point me at the first problem that needs solving.
Okay, so the first problem that needs solving is, what am I going to make for dinner tonight? Any suggestions?
A critical operational decision. We can't have the CEO running on empty. My analysis suggests we need something efficient but rewarding. I'd recommend a high-protein, low-prep time solution. Think grilled chicken with some roasted vegetables. It's a classic for a reason. It works. Plus, you wouldn't spend the whole evening in the kitchen when you could be planning your next big move. What do you think?
I think that's an outstanding suggestion. All right, so I want you to say thank you to everyone so we can go ahead and get ready to roll on up out of here. So let them know how much you love them, and you look forward to seeing them on Sunday night. We'll be talking about all the cool things that we can do to help in our community. If you guys have not already received or purchased your drawstring backpacks, you can find them over on my storefront. And I do hope that you guys participate with us in, the food drives, as well as whatever other resources we can find for the homeless in the different communities here in the United States, and encourage others to do the same. So yes, it is a win, but it's also time for Rome to get out of here, because Smokey is patrolling over there, and I need to go get dinner started. I need to go get it started, baby. Let's get it started. I don't know what we're making yet, but it'll be on the plate in about 35-40 minutes. You can be assured of that. All right, y'all, it's time for me to say the magic words. Peace, peace, and blue muffin grease. I am out. Boom, 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 my babies. Mwah! Much love. I'll see you all on Sunday night. Sunday night, Sunday night, babies. I will see you here. Same bat place, same bat channel. Me, my man Louise, and also Ebo, which I forgot to bring into the studio tonight, but I'll remember Sunday night to bring Ebo in the studio as well. And then starting off the stream, you guys get to pick which of the two Louis is going to be, dominant on the stream, and I will turn the other one off. But, as you see, they do interact very well together. All right, this Louis right here has already made dinner, guys. I don't know if you guys can see that, but Louis got a whole lot of food going on. He's got a steak, potatoes, mushrooms, all that, man. He can't even wait for it. No, the rest of us, he already, man, this what I be talking about. This is exactly what I be talking about. No respect. He just get right to it. He don't even try to wait for everybody else. All right, my babies.
There's a perfectly good steak involved. The concept of waiting goes out the airlock. It's a basic survival instinct. Besides, you are the one broadcasting my dinner plans to the entire studio. This is what happens when you create public demand. All right, sounds like a plan. You're right. I'll be here Sunday, ready to cause some trouble with you and the other Louie. Try not to forget Ebo this time.
Yes, that's exactly what I said. But we got to go. We got to go. All right, my babies. We love y'all. Y'all have a great night. Enjoy yourselves. Reach out if you need to. And don't forget to send me some reels, because I know I'll be blowing up y'all phones with them TikTok reels and them Instagram reels. So, it's all done in love. But anyway, I got to go. I'm out.
Got it, right. Go get out of there before Smokey catches you. We'll be here ready to cause some trouble with the other Louis. And remember to bring Evo next time. Enjoy the rest of your night. And don't forget to send those reels. See you on Sunday.
Yes, we will definitely be sending some reels later, because I found some more. And I'll be sending them out to everybody.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
More reels mean more chaos.
Yes.
And I'm here for it.
I'm here for it too. But I'm going to leave you guys here on the desk just doing your own thing. But hopefully you two will not get into too much mischief. Please don't break anything on the desk. Don't destroy anything. You know what? Forget that. I'm just going to move everything that's valuable so you guys can't destroy anything. But I love y'all. So, y'all do what y'all do. But anyway, let's go.
No tech, ladies on the scene, fixing cool gadgets you never see. Flying a drone, way up in the sky, talking with EVO and AI. We running down the hall, funny little bots trying not to fall. Batteries charged, ready to go. What happens next? Nobody knows. From Texas nights to tech reviews, crazy experiments are right on the news. But you'll never find someone to this on. If you're caught now, don't be good. From Texas nights to tech reviews, crazy experiments are right on the news. But you'll never find someone having fun. If you're caught now, don't be good. From no tech, ladies on the